Welcome to the Beyond Physio Podcast, where we help you move, excel, and inspire others on your journey to your next level with knowledge and advice from experts and testimonials from our like-minded community. On today's episode, I get to interview Kathleen Cardozo, who is a master swimmer and triathlete, ex-collegiate swimmer. And Kathleen talks to us about her story of how she ruptured her rotator cuff and her biceps tendon. Ended up with a very complicated surgery, but thankfully she came to see us, and now she's able to get back to swimming and is looking forward to some awesome things in 2025. I hope you enjoy the episode, but please like and subscribe if you find that this episode was helpful for you. Thanks for watching this interview with Kathleen. I hope it was helpful for you if you've had any kind of surgery to the shoulder, knowing that you have some hope if you find the right provider who can provide the right, dedicated, and personalized plan for you to get back to what you love to do. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this information helpful. Kathleen, I really appreciate you coming in today to share your story with how we've helped you get back to swimming with two arms.
Yes.
And let's go back into your journey because you are an athlete. Tell me about your athletic history before everything started.
So I grew up swimming. We had a pool in our backyard, started competitive swimming about age 6.
Oh, wow.
A couple of times a week, and then when that was up in New York, we moved to North Carolina when I was 11, started swimming year round. Swam through college, went to UNCW, swam
Nice.
from UNCW.
Right by the beach.
Yes, at the beach. Yep. No, not that I ever went to the beach. No,
Yeah.
yes. But so swam there. And then after my junior year, I was burnt out. So I was like,
Done.
I'm done.
Yeah.
So took a nice long break. I met some of my old swimmer friends. They started doing masters. They're like, oh, we need a master's coach. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll coach. So I started
roped you
coaching.
in.
Yeah. And then, I started swimming with some of the masters. Met my husband.
Yes.
While I was coaching.
The famous Sid Cardozo.
Yes.
Now, here's the question. How did you went from swimming into triathlon too, right?
Not until after I met Sid.
Was that right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I was doing masters, mainly coaching, and then I'd swim every once in a while. And then he actually qualified for Hawaii. We went to Hawaii. And after we went back. After he finished, we went back to watch the end. People finish up until midnight.
Yeah.
So you go back, and those are really inspirational because they're just everyday people.
Yeah.
And at that point, I'm sitting on the bleacher, and I'm like, I'm kind of a slug, not doing anything. So that kind of got me into trying to do triathlons.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And through how many races did you do? A lot of like upper level triathlons? You Ironman, half Ironman?
I've done a half Ironman.
Yeah.
That's it.
So
I did mostly local
races.
Local races. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Now, through your athletic history, Kathleen, as a swimmer, or maybe even as a triathlete and maybe as a runner, did you happen to come across any kinds of injuries at that time?
Yeah, I've had hip injuries.
Right. Labrum,
Well,
I think.
right. But that was even before then. Just, wear and tear, like just probably overuse. And I'm not a runner by set, I run, but probably not the best form and everything. So I would have hip things, and I did go to PT for that.
And that was helpful.
But then I did tear my labrum later on.
In the hip.
Yes.
Hip
labrum.
Did you get surgery for that too?
I did have surgery for that.
Got it. So you did that, recovered. Mm-hmm. Did you ever go back to triathlon afterwards?
No, I mean, I rode, and I did all three, but never as a race.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
cross-training kind of.
Cross-training.
Yes. Yeah. Love that. So now let's fast forward, Kathleen. You are an avid dog walker, and there are many dog lovers on our channel, so I'm sure they would love to resonate with you there. But there's something that happened relatively recently where you were on a trail and we had a mishap, and that's how you and I met.
Yes.
So can you walk us through what happened that fateful night?
Fateful day.
Fateful day? It was daytime.
It was daytime.
Oh my gosh.
I was running.
Yes.
Well.
Trying to run.
I was trying to run. I was with a few friends, and yes, I have my dog because he runs with us. And I was running at Umstead Park on the gravel road.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And if you ever run from Reedy Creek entrance on Umstead, you'll know that the gravel's not that great. In fact, there's big rocks coming out. And I think I hit a rock with my foot.
Yes.
And I went down.
Now, when you touched ground at that moment, was there any thought that came to mind as your hands sort of like laid on the ground? You're like, uh-oh, Or no?
Not so much with my upper body. Well, other than my head, because I did hit.
You hit your head too. I
Yeah,
forgot
but
about
not bad.
that.
I mean, but of course the friends I was with was like, oh my God, you hit your head. So
Yeah.
that was the first thought.
Sure.
Arm, didn't think about it until
Wow. So you didn't
later.
even feel anything when you landed. You just got up and you're like, whatever.
Yeah. Well, yes. And I just walked back and
Wow.
went for a walk.
Now, what happened? At what point did you realize something was wrong with your shoulder?
When I went and swam that next Monday.
Wait, so it was totally like you're totally fine.
No, I was like sore, like,
Sore,
but I
that's
was like,
it.
oh, it's because,
Yeah.
whenever you jerk,
Yeah,
you
sure.
kind of feel like,
Yeah.
So I was a little sore, but then I went and swam. I was like, I have aches and pains, right? But this was a completely different aches and pains.
And I'm so glad you said that because there are a lot of, as you know, a lot of triathletes and runners and hybrid athletes that we see. And what's great about our athletes is that they know when there's like pain from working out and there's pain where like there's something wrong.
Right.
And it sounds like that was a signal for you.
Yes. Right. Yes. There was definitely, I think I gave it a couple of times and I was like, there's something not right. This is not your normal, my shoulder hurts from years of swimming. It was something completely different. So
Was it like, how would you describe that, Kathleen?
it was definitely more painful in different places than I've ever had. And then like strength, like just was not able to pull completely down. If that meant, like a full pull.
Yeah, like a full stroke through.
Like a strength down here.
So you still continued with that swim? True?
I swam for a little while until I could see the orthopedic. I think it was within 2 weeks.
So you still continued swimming through that?
Of course, yes. Yes, I did, yes.
Now, some people would actually stop you if there's something really wrong, but
until they're going to tell me to stop, I just, I knew at that point, I was like, there's not much, there was nothing else I could really do at that point. So,
so just we'll deal with it at that point.
Yes. Yeah.
Crazy. So you went to the orthopedist, Dr. Armour.
Yes.
And he did the MRI.
Not right away.
Okay.
I had to go see PT.
Oh, yes.
So I went to a PT and another PT at his office.
Right.
And did just a couple weeks. I don't even think I did 3 sessions just because getting in and everything. And then
scheduling,
he saw me back and he's like, it's not getting better, right? And he's like, we're doing an MRI. He's like, just stop the PT, because there's no need to do it.
Yeah.
And then I was having an MRI.
Got it. And that's where we found let's think if I remember this correctly. You had the detached biceps. We had a supraspinatus tear.
Yep.
And we had the subscapularis tear.
Yes. So both the supraspinatus, those were completely torn.
Yes.
And then the bicep was partial.
Got it. He had to basically screw that back in, I think. Yes.
I think he detached it and
put it back. Oh, why not?
But
now it's all anchored with the screw. It's all good there.
Yeah. But I do have to say, I had surgery on a Tuesday. I swam on Monday.
Did?
Yes, because I was like, what?
Gosh.
Can't do. I asked him. He's like, you can't do anything else to it. So,
but obviously you couldn't swim with that arm.
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Yes. Not well. I mean, most of it was I had fins on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it. And so now after the surgery, you had the opportunity to go to see one of his PTs, but you ended up seeing us because it was hard for you to get into that.
Right. Yeah.
What was that experience like meeting me for the first time?
Well, just say how I met, how you were referred.
Yes.
You were referred by my husband because you happened to be in close proximity.
Yes.
And I knew right away when you stepped through your process, I was like, well, I think this is going to be a good fit.
Oh, hey.
And I think compared to the other offices, it's right now you have a smaller and it's more personalized.
Yes, exactly.
Where the other office, I was seeing different PTs depending on the day. Right.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the main reason why we wanted to get this going. And I would say that the goal for me, as many locations as we have, is always to grow small. So I never wanted anyone to walk in any of our offices and feel like this is like a corporate mill. And thankfully, we've done a good job until this point. So I want to keep that going. But I'm so glad that you said that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, how was we've had many months together actually getting through this.
Yes, since February.
Yes, since February. And what's the process been like for you coming here?
So I couldn't do much the first
couple weeks. Yeah,
6 weeks.
Yeah,
I don't think I could I know
I
the
did
first
it for
couple.
You, I think.
Yes. So it was very slow. It was, but slow not because of you, but just. But it was good. Once I could start moving my arm.
Yeah.
It was a very good process, and then you started working me too hard. Just Kidding.
That's how you know that we really care, that we
Yes,
actually
I
start
know.
making you work
Yes.
harder. And what I love is that when we started to increase your exercise, Kathleen, you were actually like sweating.
Yes,
which is like,
finally. I was like,
that's the best part.
Yes.
And we get that comment a lot where people have been to other PT practices and they're like, I didn't know you could sweat in physical therapy.
Yeah.
And that for me is a compliment of all compliments.
and the other thing is they could always, because you have your PT techs and everything, and
Yeah.
when they're carrying on a conversation and you're bending my arm backwards to stretch in a good way. This is all for good. Yeah, for good. And when I couldn't respond to them, they're like, "Oh, Jerry's working." I was like, "Yep, not responding right now."
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Now, Kathleen, what was great was that, honestly, with all the different tears that happened and the biceps tenodesis, which you had, you actually got back pretty quickly to swimming, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And I think what made your rehab go even better was the fact that you live an active lifestyle already. And that is 99% of our clientele. It's like people who just want to get back.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think that motivation for you helped you to continue pushing forward? Because there's certainly a population of people where you might try to get them to live that lifestyle that they haven't lived before, or like living out, sort of like exercising and that kind of thing. But it was already part of your life.
Right.
How easy was it for you to stick to a plan because that was already part of your life?
I think because it's part of my life and has been for
Forever.
a long time,
Yeah.
and just the way my family is.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I didn't have a choice, but in my mind, I didn't have a choice.
Yes.
Like I was like, I have to get back to where I was, at least as close to where I was.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the person that, I can lift my arm to here, but can't go any further. Right.
And there's some people who are totally fine with that.
That's right. Yep. They can pick up a coffee cup.
Yeah,
they're
they're
fine.
good.
But
Exactly.
no, I want to get back to doing what I like doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why you're going to live a long and healthy life, I think.
Yeah. Hopefully. Yes.
Yeah. Now, it was interesting. The exercise that we gave you, did you feel like there was enough variation in what you were doing that we were hitting different parts of just everything for you as far as fitness went?
Oh, yes, for sure. Yeah. It wasn't just about the shoulder.
Yeah.
But, a lot of other things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I love. And what was
Yes.
cool is that I think we actually got to address some of your hip issues while we were doing that.
Right.
Because I knew that you were having some weakness in that area as well.
Yep. Right. You gave me some exercises for that too. Yeah.
And now, Kathleen, as you're over this rotator cuff surgery and whatnot, what's swimming been like? Have you been able to go back fully?
So I swim 3 days a week. I'm up to about 2,500 yards
that's nice.
each time.
Yeah.
So I'm not up to my speed, but
Yeah.
part of that is just I'm kind of swimming by myself. I
Yes.
will go back beginning of the year to my
Your master's?
master's,
Oh,
which
nice.
they'll hopefully push me a little bit more.
I'm sure they will.
So-
I'm sure they'll take you back too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, but I'm back much better than I was. So,
For sure.
It's good. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And do you have any big endeavors for yourself in 2025 as far as, hey, we've hit a really nice point. There are a couple of things we're still working on here and there, but I think for the most part, you've done really, really well with the rehab. Do you have anything you're looking forward to in 2025?
Oh, well, a lot of things, but I'm not sure it's like athletic. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, really, my whole goal is to basically keep moving forward to where I was before.
Yeah.
Don't know if I do any, well, probably might do some open water swims. They try to get me into that and
Nice.
that kind of stuff. So maybe that, but just basically getting in shape, staying in shape and being able to carry my own weight too.
Yes.
Because I also had a hard time. For a little while, it's okay with people carrying a laundry basket, but after a while, I'm like, I need to do it myself.
So it sounds like you're also the person, because I'm the same way. I don't want to have to rely on people.
Right.
And it's for better or worse, I
Right.
mean, it's good to lean on people sometimes, but I feel sometimes I just want to do it myself.
Yeah.
And it seems like you're the same way.
Oh no, I'm all for letting
Yeah.
somebody else do it every once in a while, but I want to be able to do it.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it sounds to me like staying active, staying independent, staying mobile for the next 30, 40 years, God willing, is your plan as well.
Yes, for sure. Yep.
That's awesome.
I have to keep up with my husband.
Yes. And
First-
your 3 kids.
Yes, 3
Yes.
kids. Yep.
That's amazing.
Yep.
So Kathleen, if someone were on the fence about wanting to see us, and I'll end this here, what are 1 or 2 words, or what's one way that you would actually convince them that we are actually the better fit for what they might need if they're an active person?
And I think you can put this in like athletic terms, dedication. I feel like you guys are dedicated to getting the patients better
Yes.
to where they want to be, not just get them to a point
Barely better.
and and move on to someplace else, or
Yeah.
get them out. But it's dedicated to getting them back to where they were beforehand.
That's awesome. And I would say that for every clinician in all of our offices, that's one of the traits that we look for, and how we set up the environment and how we do our treatment model. It's all based on, it's not good enough for me, and I know it's not good enough for people like you,
Right.
Kathleen, to just get you back to barely basic stuff. It's more meaningful, and you and I live on that very active lifestyle, so we want to get back to things that are much greater than that.
Right.
In order to do that, we need the strength, we need mobility, we need the endurance to do that, and we can't do that if we can't move right.
Right.
And so I'm so glad that you said that, and I hope that, and I know that we will remain dedicated as the years go on as well.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Kathleen, thank you so much for your time coming in
welcome.
and sharing your story about your rotator cuff rehab and how great we were. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in 2025 do amazing things.
Yes. Thank you, Jerry, for everything.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks so much for tuning into today's episode. It really does mean a lot to us. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, or comment if you got at least one or two helpful insights or takeaways to help you get to your next level.